They had somebody that was taking care of the project, but they got to this point and unfortunately couldn't keep going any longer. So we got a call asking if we could finish the place out, get it dialed in. Now the downside is we have 0 time. So we're gonna get into this place. It's gonna be a quick little project. We are 3,100 square feet, including that garage right there. We need to build up the 2nd story walls, get the roof on this place, sheet it all, and get them ready for wrapping the exterior, setting windows, and more. Joy of working on a subfloor, using a scratch awl or a nail set into the wood to hold your snap line there.
So make that your top plate because the bottom plate doesn't matter. The bottom plate doesn't matter, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've got one more line to snap and you're set. So the goal is to mark everything out to where it's as transparent as you can get. This wall here will butt into that exterior and run through. This one butts in here, butts in there. Doing that, you kind of map out how things go. You have to think ahead, kind of think about how walls are going to get framed as well, how everything's going to stand up, but easiest way. And to avoid having an extra set of hands where we don't need it, so this laundry room had a couple changes. We're 5'6" over, so over that wall, and then over this one as well. We'll mark 5'6", go back 3.5. Mark that as well. Snap that through, and that wraps up everything over here. We can work over there. That was a hard spot. One of the first things we saw that was not correct with this place was stair placement here. The way that it's drawn on the plan shows it going from the corner up to the subfloor here. But the issue is we're supposed to have 3'11" here, and I don't even have 3 foot. So the stairs are about a foot in the wrong direction. So what we're gonna have to do is reframe this out here, start our stairs here, and run them down to where they're supposed to be. That is just the first of a few problems. This place was also screwed off with 3-inch deck screws. Not like Simpson screws for screwing down a floor. Odd stuff. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are we?
We are awesome.
How are things going over there?
Just peachy, they're flying.
So the stairs are issue number 1. These stairs need to pull back a little bit. Those will be dialed. And this is all supposed to be living space over here. The issue is the 2-inch. They dropped everything in the joist here. So on the plans, it shows the building line coming out and over, and then from the center, sloping out for the deck. So this all should have planed across and came across at this elevation. That didn't happen. I do not know how we're gonna fix this yet. I am 2 5/8 from the bottom up to here. The downside is now that this is already glued, this is already screwed, everything's already in. The only thing we can really do is fur out on top and then sheet again, and I really do not like doing that. That might be the only option aside from completely tearing this out to that center line and reframing this. Check it out on the plans and I'll explain it. Okay, so let's talk about issue number 1. We have the staircase opening here. Top of stairs is here. 3'10" spec'd out here from that wall butting it to the stairs. Issue is right now I have 2'10". Doesn't work. These are gonna have to shift. That'll move. Let's talk about this deck. Let's go over this right here. The issue is that they have carried out that exterior wall all the way through, and that was their floor system. What should have happened is it should have been the same elevation all the way around the building perimeter, as shown here on the plans, and just this deck was sloped. Instead, they dropped all this as well. You can see that this closet goes from here to here, and there's a 2 5/8 difference from here to here. We're gonna have to figure this out. When we start all of our plating, one of the most important things to do is mark out where all of your intersecting walls are gonna be. It's crucial for layout of doors, crucial for layout of windows. So what we have going in here is a 3050 window. We want to put as much info on the plates and the ground as possible. So we'll write 3050. Let's lay this thing out, talk through the numbers real quick. What we want to do, we know that it needs to be centered in between here and here. What we're going to do is pull this number here. We are looking at having 59 inches. That is 30 minus half inch, 29.5. We know that this right here is our center. We'll mark our center out. We have a 3/0 window. That means the actual window itself will be 36 inches. We need to add a trimmer on both sides, therefore our total opening will be 39 inches. So what we'll want to do is take that 39, which is our total header length, and divide that by 2, which puts us at 19.5. We'll mark out right here. We'll come over here to 39, mark out there. Now you should be able to, if you wanted to double check yourself, hook the number you just pulled. I have 19.5. And then go to the other one here, 19.5 as well. That totals up to 39. On bigger windows and bigger frames, you will have multiple trimmers, multiple king studs. You need to check your plans for that. Place is a cracker box, single trimmer, single king. Now that we have a mark here and a mark here, this represents our king stud, that represents our king stud. We'll take and put an X and a line going in. This indicates that this is your king and that this line in here is the start of your opening. We'll do another one here, X here and over. That indicates that you have a king and the window is in. Now what we'll do is transfer these marks over and lay out everything that we have here down here as well. On top of that, we'll put the bottom cripple numbers here, header number here, sill number here as well, and the top cripples here. We need to do a story pull to figure those out though. Everything on this place is set at 610, so it should be pretty simple. We're 80.5 for our trimmers. It's pretty easy, but we'll transfer these lines down, keep on trucking. If you're laying out a window, you have the overall width of the window, 36 in this case, and then 1.5 inches on both sides for a trimmer. Some people know those as a jack stud. On a door though, it's a little bit different. A window is window call out plus 3 inches for a trimmer on each side. Like I said though, check if you have double trimmers. On a door though, it's the call out size plus 5 inches. And the reason for that is you have trimmer, and an inch of casing on both sides. So if you had a 3/0 door, it'd be 36 inches plus 5. You would have a 41-inch header. We want to put as much info on these plates as possible, which is why we're putting the header, bottom crypts, top crypts, window size down here. That way when we're framing, we could have all these studs back here, we could have this window framing, and if there's any questions of, oh, what size is this, we know exactly what it is. So the same thing goes, we'll pull from here to here, get a number, center up. We have a small window going in here, a little 2020. We're 36.5, that's 18.25. We will pull from there, 18.25. Nice little center mark. As I said, we have a little 2020, 24 by 24. We have a toilet going here. This will be centered up above it. I'll give you guys a sec to try to get this on your own. We have a 2020. Therefore, the overall window width is 24 inches. What should our header width be? Our header width should be 13.5 both ways, adding up to a total of 27. So we'll have that 24 plus 1.5 inches and 1.5 inches. Once you get the hang of it, everything is really easy. You will have some variables, as I said. Sometimes you'll have double kings, double trimmers, and you have to account for that. If you had double trimmers, it would be window call out plus 6 inches. So 3 on this side, 3 on this side. We've had some builds recently where it's even triple trimmers. We'll X both sides, line in, line in. We're gonna be 27 inches here. And as always, transfer our layouts down. Yeah, nothing seems to map out. The upper doesn't match the lower, the connections don't match. Is that what it's showing on the upper too over here?
Nothing's working over here. It should be 8 foot. 8 foot of shear right there.
Oh, they're doing the same thing. So they have a 10-footer there.
Going the opposite way.
8 foot out, it says there should be a doubler at 8 foot. There's not?
He doesn't, no, he's like 7 foot.
Yeah, so he's 7'2" to the doubler and we need to be 8 foot over.
Right, so we need to move that doubler over?
Yeah. What we're running into is we have these doublers down below that we need to match up top where we can have a strap connection from the bottom to the top like you typically would. The issue is that every shear wall that we have on the upper section is offset on the lower section. Therefore, the corner posts that should connect don't have anywhere to connect. So we're running into this issue here, here. So let's go over what we've done here. It has been a very busy day. Tomorrow we'll get a little bit more hands-on. Today though, we kind of got a feel for this place. It's my first day looking at the plans. Here's where we're at. The floor system should have notched here and then continued out and done their sloping. They didn't do that. So we have to go through and fur this. We have 2x4 down right now. I am just putting this underneath the walls so I can get my walls up. I will figure out the rest of it later, whether we want to float this with self-leveler or if we want to insulate and sheet in here. Whatever we want to do, we have options. So what we've done is put a 2x6 down and then an 1.1/8" plywood. That brought us up to the same elevation as here. So we are now good to go. So everything here is detailed. We are completely wrapped up. All of our interiors are done, the exteriors are done. Some window changes happened. Typical. It's nothing new. We've got everything in place though. There is a lot of work and we're gonna go downstairs and show you guys some of this work right now. It is very, very unfortunate. A lot of things went south. We'll talk about that in just a minute though. We have a lot of connections. In rough framing, what we have is connections from the bottom all the way up to the top. So the big post will be at the bottom, a little bit smaller up top, and then up to the roof. This place here though, I have none of my strapping posts. Nothing's in. So what we're gonna have to do is frame all this up here. I've got my point loads where my girders sit for my truss system. Everything is in place. It's gonna get built as such. We're gonna have to go downstairs and reframe down there and put in these point loads that carry all the way down. The issue with doing this is during the framing process of building out this floor system, all of your point loads, you would install posts in the floor system. That way the point load goes from the very top at the roof all the way down to the sill plate at the very bottom. So it adds so much extra work having to do this afterwards, but it's what we're gonna have to do. So we'll make the best of it and see how it goes. Let's hop downstairs. I wanna show you guys the staircase that was built. How that is holding up, I don't even know. One of our biggest concerns when we first walked this place is the staircase here and how it was put together. We have this LVL, double LVL running through here. There's nothing holding it here, no screws, no fasteners, and it's actually lower than the header, which does not work. So that section there needs work. As we come over here, this is completely floating. It should be bearing in the wall with the post going down to carry that load. And we should have a hanger over here. Unfortunately, these stairs are fully assembled and it is too late to do anything there. So what we're talking about doing is actually building an interior wall that'll run through here and allow us to support this LVL, because this right here will not pass inspection. The corners here aren't connected at all. That'll crack your drywall instantly. A Cali corner would have worked, or just stack a couple more studs in there. From afar, the framing looks all right. There's so much more to it though. We have all these utilities coming up in here. This bay is massively oversized, but here's the biggest issue we're running into. This 4x6 right here is a point load. That carries weight from there all the way up through the floor, up again, up to the very top of the roof. So up here in the floor joist, we should have a post that goes from the top plate up to the sheathing there. Now on areas where the joists are running this way towards the outside wall here, it's not so difficult because we have this 4x6 here. We will simply put a 4x4 up on top of the plate going up to the sheathing there. These ones are easy to access. We have one from here going up, another one from there going up. These ones are good to go, easy to get to. It's the walls that run parallel that are going to be a little bit more tricky to get into. So that is a quick little introduction to this project. We're going to get this place buttoned up, make it nice. We have to wrap the bottom and shear. Like I said though, we do have some corrections to make down here. Need to make sure that everything is up to date per plan and finished the way that it should be. That includes putting our point loads in, adding our straps the way they should go, and getting this place as good as it can be prior to inspection. The carpenter that was framing here before was a little bit old school, so we're seeing single sill methods, a couple older framing techniques that haven't been used in years. But let's get the drone up in the sky before we close out today's video and show you how we plate everything to where it all works out the way we want it to. Just letting you guys know as well, we have a new program that's going out. Down by the subscribe button, there's a little button that says join. That button gets you access to a monthly plan reading class that we're going to be doing, where we hop on a Zoom call. There'll be 30 to 50 of us. We go through and read a set of plans, talk about different details, basically map out a set of plans for you guys. On site, it's hectic. There's a lot of stuff going on, but we'll take our time, sit back, relax, talk details, share anything that I can with you guys. If you have questions, you can chime in and ask, and much more. So if you click the join button down below, it's $1.99 a month. That is the minimum that you have to spend. You get access to this, and it makes it to where we don't have a class full of 500 to 1,000 people. Join on in, it's gonna be a lot of fun, but top up top, explain this a little bit more, close out, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bang on.
So one question I get asked the most is how do we figure out which walls we want to run through, which walls butt into other walls, and so on and so forth. So let's go over that just a bit. We have the layout of this place here. You can see just about everything is done. All of our interiors are over here. Personally, when I get started on a build like this and start snapping, plating, and detailing, I like to get a control line established. For me, that control line was this top wall right here. So we went through, snapped this out first, and then plated this. The reason I do a control line is because if we're all pulling from the same line here, 15'9" down to here, and 15'9" down to here, we're going to end up parallel. As opposed to if somebody was pulling 10'5" this way, and I'm pulling 15'9" this way, those numbers might not match up. It would take this building being literally perfect in order to do so. So by setting that control line and everybody pulling off of it to get numbers, everything works out good. So now how do I go about figuring out which walls I want to run over, which walls I want to butt? Let's check this out. The red are the walls that ran through, and the blue indicate my shear walls. The shear walls don't always dictate which walls will run through. Typically, it's just how the building is laid out. Let me run through it with numbers, show you guys what walls I planned on building first, all the way through from start to finish. So we have number one, this back wall here. This thing's fairly long from here onto the outside. Number two is this small wall here. Number three is this wall up here. And number four is this wall here. The reason that I have these four marked out and labeled is because all four of them can frame at the same exact time. So I can have 1, 2, 3, and 4 all going simultaneously while I work on other things. From there, number 5 can frame on top of 1 and 2. 6 can frame right here once we have number 3 up. 7 is this small little wall in here. This can actually frame while 3 and 4 is down. 8 is the small filler wall. 9 is the other. 10, we've got this wall over here, which is all by itself. 11 is this little filler here. 12 is down here. 13 is here. So as you work your way around, you're going to stay out of your own way. We have 1 and 2 getting framed, 3 and 4 all at the same exact time. From then 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. The only one in this building that was fairly controversial was number 1 right here, because it did butt into this balloon wall and butt into the outside. So building it first means that we would have to build number 5 on top and drop it in place. That is not a deal breaker though. And oftentimes the reason that you're seeing these little pop-outs being framed over is because I'll have a post connection on the end, and that post connection needs to transfer all the way to the bottom, which is the case here, 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 and here. So when it comes down to it, what walls run through, what walls butt is strictly preference. You will figure out a method that works for you though over time after you do it a few times, and from there everything will work out smooth. So the goal is to be able to work through this whole entire house, have people spread out, frame in every which way, and not be in each other's way. If you guys have any questions about this, feel free to comment down below.